whilst I was doing it, I just went into this like deep, intense state of presence, to the point where it was just so intense. Like I just felt like, whoa, like what was that? Like I'd never entered a state of consciousness like that before. Oh my God. I am so excited to talk about today's video. I'm so excited to do today's video. I've been playing around with where this should go because I'm not really sure. Maybe that's a good place. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Amy. I actually haven't been introducing myself. This is something that I need to get better at. Introductions. Okay, my name's Amy and this is my YouTube channel. And on this channel, I am going to be talking about a range of subjects. My perspective is very spiritual, so there's always going to be a little bit of spirituality in there, but I'm also an entrepreneur and a graphic designer, and I have my own graphic design business. So this channel is all about entrepreneurship, spirituality, self-development, all of those things, and we're going to go into a lot of different topics, but these are things that I'm really, really interested in. Oh, and creativity, of course. Today's video is going to be all about the different types of meditation, the different techniques that I use the most, and what different techniques can do for you, and when to use them, when's best to use them. There are so many ways to meditate, and there are so many different breathwork techniques. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the scientific side of meditation because I'm not a scientist, even though I love learning about science, and it's definitely an interesting thing to find out about. I would recommend, because there's already a lot of resources out there, from actual scientists that have done a lot of, experiments, and they've got the results and evidence to show what meditation can really do for your body and your nervous system. So if you are interested in learning about the science, there's a really good video that I watched recently by Andrew Huberman, and I will link his video in the description below. It's a really good video. It's about 3 hours long, but it goes really in depth into like more recent findings that they've been discovering with meditation and what it can do for your body. And he also talks about different techniques that you can use. He doesn't really talk about the ones that I'm going to be talking about, but he's definitely got a technique on there that I haven't used yet. And it sounds really interesting, and definitely something that I'm going to try. The meditation techniques that I'm going to be talking about in today's video are box breathing, yoga nidra, visualization meditations, open eye meditations, the Wim Hoff breathing technique, nose belly breath techniques, which I don't even know if that's the real word for it, but the real name for it, but that's what I call it, and affirmation meditations. These are my most used meditation techniques, and I meditate properly around twice a day. Obviously on some days I do miss it if I'm like really busy and I just feel like I need to I've got other things that I need to be doing. Sometimes I don't really feel like I need to meditate. I just need to crack on with what needs to be done in that moment. But most days I will meditate as soon as I wake up and before I go to bed. Sometimes I will do meditations in the middle of the day if I feel like it's necessary. I just want to say as well, there's many, many more meditation and breathing breathwork techniques than the ones I'm going to mention today. I haven't actually gone into breathwork too much. I have done breathwork in terms of the Wim Hof breathing, and I've found that it's very powerful. But I would definitely love to learn more about breathwork, and it's something that I'm going to be getting into deeper, so I'll definitely speak about that when I do. As I said, breathwork is very powerful. Most of the time I will do like 1 round of the Wim Hof breathing technique before I go into a meditation, especially if I need to really center myself and calm myself down. If I feel like I need to get some inspiration or just be present so that I can really clear my mind, that is such a good breathing technique to do just before I even go into a meditation. Even just 1 round. Like, it's so powerful. It's crazy. Basically, the way that you do the Wim Hof breathing technique If you type in Wim Hof breathing into YouTube, it will come up. I'm sure many of you have done it already, but basically I'll just explain how you do it. I think it's like, I don't know how many rounds, but it's an open mouth breathing. Actually, he does say that you can do it through your mouth and your nose, but I've found that doing it through my mouth is a lot more beneficial for me. It gets my body tingling, and I think what you do is, I don't know if it's like 60 breaths. I think you can do as many breaths as you want, but I normally do it as many times until I start to feel tingly. I don't really listen to the video as much anymore because I find just like I can get more into a deeper state if I'm doing it just on my own. And so you do the breathing in through the mouth, out through the mouth, in like a cyclical way. So it's like you breathe in cycles. There's basically no gap between the breathing. And then after you've done like your, 50, 60 breaths, you then hold your breath for 60 seconds, a minute and a half. Obviously you can work your way up to that. It does get easier. And then you let the breath out and hold for another 15 seconds. And then you go back into the breathing. As I said, sometimes I'll just do one round of that and then go straight into like my nose breathing. And then I'm just like in such a relaxed state, and it's perfect for if I just wanted to do like a meditation. You could do this breath work. It's very powerful for, say, before you're going to be doing something, like say you've got a presentation or you've got something that you're really nervous about. Say you're meeting someone that you really fancy, or you maybe you're doing a little psilocybin journey or something like that. It's perfect for doing before those times where you feel like a little bit anxious. Maybe your heart rate is a little bit higher than usual. What I find is if I've got a high heart rate or my heart is beating, I'm anxious, that Wim Hof breathing technique is so powerful. It just helps me calm my nervous system down and feel relaxed. And it's just so nice. Really good. Really good. This breathwork is great for getting you out of your head, into the present moment, back to your center so that you can consciously calm your body down. And it's really good for before you want to like set your intention on anything that you want to do. I'd definitely recommend that. So if you're feeling like extra anxious, I'd recommend doing like probably 3 rounds. The next breathing technique that I want to talk about is box breathing. And box breathing is when you breathe. I'll do it through my nose. I've actually never done it through my mouth, but you breathe in. You can choose how many seconds you want to do it for, but you breathe in. Let's say it's for 8 seconds. Hold your breath for 8 seconds. Breathe out for 8 seconds. Hold your breath for 8 seconds. Breathe in for 8 seconds. And then it keeps going around. That's why it's called a box breathing, because it's 8 seconds in, 8 seconds hold, 8 seconds out, 8 seconds hold. So I find that the more seconds that I do this one with, the more deeper the state I can get into. I have had some really deep, intense meditation experiences doing the box breath. Actually, it was like one of the first times I did it. I think I was doing like 14 seconds or something, and it can be quite difficult at first because you're like regulating your breathing. I actually find that doing the Wim Hof breathing, like 1 round before this, it makes it a lot easier, because I think it does something to like the amount of oxygen that is in your body, so you're able to hold your breath for longer, and like it just makes it easier. So once you're like in that rhythm where you can really do like the 14 seconds in, hold, out, hold, like you learn to like regulate your breath so much that you end up tuning in to your body on such a deep level. And before, I remember once, just whilst I was doing it, I just went into this like deep, intense state of presence, to the point where it was just so intense. Like I just felt like, whoa, like what was that? Like I'd never entered a state of consciousness like that before, and that was like a few years ago. So I like to do that one every now and then. And the next one I want to talk about is just nose breathing, literally just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. You can just do like a deep breath all the way to your belly and then all the way back out, and you're just focusing on your breath. I really try to be as present as possible when I'm doing this, and you know, when the mind wanders, bring myself back to my breath. So it's just like a standard kind of meditation, but I think it's just equally as powerful. can be really beneficial to just do. Like, this is what I'll do usually as soon as I wake up. I will go into my nose breathing and also just say thank you for another day, like every single day. And that can just like set you up for feeling really good about the day. And I'll usually do this before I go to bed as well. It's just one that you can literally use throughout the whole day, to be honest. It's like if you're in the shower and you want to, and you realise that your mind's wandering, it's just like you can take it to the breath. Or if I'm doing my affirmations, I'll be breathing through my nose, because sometimes when I'm doing my affirmations, you can go onto autopilot and you can be writing out affirmations, but your mind's actually somewhere else. So the affirmations aren't actually integrating. So what I'll do is try and focus on my breath whilst I'm doing them. Or for example, if I am needing to be really paying attention to something like my work, and I find that I'm getting distracted and I want to procrastinate, it's good to bring your attention back to your breath, so that you can really focus on what you're doing. Or if you're trying to listen to someone and they really need your full attention in that moment, focusing on the breathing is really a good idea, so that you can just give whatever it is that needs your attention your full presence. So, which brings me to talking about open eye meditations. This is when you focus on something outside of you instead of the internal. I find this to be a great way to like get out of your head. Sometimes when you focus, like I heard people say before, like I can't meditate because I don't want to like I can't stand my thoughts. And like, so I think, so Andrew Huberman spoke about this in his video that I'm going to link below. He said that sometimes if people are more inwardly focused, doing an external open eye meditation can be really beneficial, because you're focusing on something outside of you, which can really help you to get out of your head. I actually quite like being in my head. I like hearing what's coming up. I like to hear what my intuition is trying to guide me to do, or I like to hear what the thoughts of my ego, so that I can be aware of them and, not be so caught up in all the delusions of the mind. I find it really beneficial to be aware of that. The next kind of meditations I want to talk about is visualization. I love visualization. I love visualizing things. I'm a very visual person. So obviously I'm a graphic designer. And I love to make art, and I love looking at art. So I am very visual, and this is basically one of my favorite things to do, is visualize things. And you can visualize so many different things. You can use visualization for so many different things. Not only is it just like a really good manifestation technique, so getting your body ready for things that you want to manifest, whether that be like a relationship or a business or even like a gym session, or basically just like visualizing what you're going to do, visualizing where you're going to be, visualizing what you're going to be achieving, gets you into the mindset of achieving it. You're basically telling the universe what you want to get. And I always find that whenever I like visualize things or visualize things, that the universe always tends to like help me get there. So very powerful. I would definitely recommend visualizing, things you want to achieve, and visualize yourself achieving them. And you've also got to feel the emotion of how you would feel when you're manifesting it, when you have manifested it. So picture yourself as if you're already there and how that feels. And that is how you're going to really basically like retune your mind to becoming that person that you want to be. Another thing I use visualization for is creativity. So I believe that we are getting our ideas from some source, and when we tune into the source, we tune into ourselves, we are able to pick up messages that are being dropped off to us. So we're like little antennas, and when we are strongly tuned into our antenna, we are able to basically be a conduit for the messages that want to come through. and the messages that want to be transmitted to us. So that brings me back to visualizing my art. What I'll sometimes do is, if I'm stuck on an art piece and I don't know how I'm going to finish it, or say I've got a client and I'm getting a bit stuck on a project, sometimes what I'll do is I will meditate on the project. I will specifically try to visualize how the project's going to end up looking. And sometimes, I think every time I've done this, I've had a picture in my mind of how it's going to look. And then that gives me inspiration to go and, why can't I think of this word? It gives me the inspiration to go and finish the project. It's crazy how this can work, to be honest. And I think like it's a very, very good tip if you are stuck with a creative project, or you don't know how to move forwards with something. Definitely try visualizing it, see what comes through. You might be surprised at how it actually looks in your mind, that you wouldn't have been able to figure that out if you didn't do the visualization. Another visualization I do is, I can't remember why. I think I was doing like a guided meditation once, and someone said visualize like a place. I don't even think I was doing a guided meditation. I think I was just doing a meditation, maybe like a visualization of like somewhere I wanted to be. And I ended up in this place, which I now refer to as my sacred place, because I've been back there so many times and I find it so easy to visualize that place. Say I'm like feeling like I need to visualize, sometimes I'll start off in that place. It looks like it's basically got like a waterfall, and there's like a cave behind the waterfall, and it's like in the jungle, and sometimes there's like animals, they'll fly to me, like butterflies, birds. I feel like it's such a easy place for me to visualize and just feel like I'm there during my meditations, and it really makes me feel good. Like, it just makes me feel so happy when I go there. So that's one thing you could try visualizing a place where you feel you would really enjoy to be. Mine's always like sunny and I'm swimming around in the water, and sometimes I like bring people there or like visualize people there with me. It's really just a good way to like raise your vibrations, I think, and just like tune in with yourself, tune in with your heart, tune in with like the kind of things that your soul wants to be doing. And I've also had very powerful visualizations there before, where I went to my sacred place and I hadn't drawn a picture in months, and because I was feeling some creative block. I just want to go through this story really quickly. But I went to this place and then felt like, so basically I had like a butterfly come forward, and do you know what? I can't actually remember what happened, but the butterfly basically gave me a message and was like, I remember now. It was like, I'm going to give you 3 gifts. One of them was a pen, one of them was like creative inspiration, and the other one was like creative dust or something. And I was like, straight after that visualization, I got up and I had so much motivation to draw. My creative block had basically been gotten rid of. I felt so much inspiration. I ended up drawing the butterfly, I think so anyway, it was like a little fairy. So that was very powerful. Another thing you can visualize is solutions to problems. So if you've got an issue or something that you are struggling with, it might be a good idea to sit down and visualize how you can move forwards in that situation and see what answers come through. You might want to ask questions. I think some people aren't as visual as others. So sometimes it's more like a thing of like speaking to yourself or asking the questions verbally through your head. You might I think a lot of people get messages in different ways, through like audio, like auditory. Like I feel like I'm hearing messages. So yeah, it all depends on how you receive. I also visualize things I want to manifest, like I said, like new clients that I want to manifest, or healing my body. That's another thing you can do. Actually, that is the next one I'm going to be talking about. So the next meditation is basically like a body scan. And you can do a body scan whilst you do visualizations at the same time, which is called, it's basically psychic healing. And there's different types of body scans. I don't know if you've heard of yoga nidra, but that is one of the body scan meditations where you basically scan through your whole body. It's very good for sleep. It's very good for relaxing yourself before bed. I often do this before bed, tune into my body. I find that I'm able to be a lot more conscious whilst I'm dreaming if I do yoga nidra or just meditation in general. You've also got other body meditations where you can focus on like specific parts of the body. You can focus on like multiple parts of your body, or you can focus on just one specific part of your body. And I do this if I've got pain in my body, or let's say, you know, I get sometimes like a sore neck. I'll focus all of my energy onto that part of my neck. I also injured my wrists, like I think it was a couple of years ago now, a year and a half ago now. I'm not recommending people do this, but I like to follow my intuition. And I went to a few doctors, and the doctor tried to put me on like 3 months of meds, which was like anti-inflammatories, and my body was just like, no, I don't want to do that. Like I really did not want to do it. I don't know why. I mean, I've heard things about anti-inflammatories and painkillers that they're not very good for your body, so I guess that's why. I really didn't want to be on them for 3 months. I didn't even take one, you guys. Like I didn't. My wrists were really quite bad as well. It was preventing me from working and doing a lot of things. So I ended up getting this book called Psychic Healing. And this was around the time that I was learning about, you know, natural ways to heal the body. And I find that it really works, okay? My wrists are pretty much healed now. I think doing like a psychic healing, but I'll go through what it is. It's basically a technique where you connect yourself to the earth through visualization, which is like a way of grounding yourself. So that's how it begins. You connect yourself to the earth, however that looks for you during your visualization. It will look different for everyone. The more I do it, the clearer it gets. But I will connect myself to the earth, and then I will spread orange light into the area that needs healing. So the Psychic Healing book basically says that the orange light is the healing light. I think it's orange light. That's what I've been using anyway. And I'll do that for a period of time until I feel like I've done it for enough time. And then you basically like bend over. That sounds funny, but like I'll like bend over and like shake the energy off afterwards. And I get to some people, this probably sounds a bit nuts, because if I'd listened to this 2 years ago, I probably would have been a bit skeptical, but I'm like so into all of this stuff now, and I genuinely think it benefits me. Like I do. I also think there is some evidence to say that when we send energy to certain parts of our body, it helps it heal, which makes sense to me, because it is a thing as well. If you're stressing and you're using a lot of energy on stress, it can weaken the immune system, because your body needs energy to strengthen your immune system. So that energy that is being used on the stress is not being used properly for your immune system. I just want to say as well, like, touch wood, I barely ever get ill. I don't really get unwell unless I haven't been looking after myself. I definitely think that meditation is really beneficial for strengthening your immune system and obviously staying calm through lots of situations. I haven't actually gone into the benefits of meditation at all in this video. I will make another video about that, because these videos are so long. Like, I don't know if they're too long, but I like to talk. So just some books I would recommend if you want to learn a little bit more about like the science side of meditation. So Dr. Joe Dispenza has a book called How to Rewire Your Brain, which I read years ago, which I really enjoyed. It's got like a lot, I think it's got a whole chapter on like the science of meditation. It's got chapters on different meditations you can do. I wanted to mention that because I remember reading it before. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't read it again. There's another book that I highly recommend called Creative Visualization, which is a really good book, obviously, about creative visualization. It has different visualizations that you can do. It talks through meditations. It has lots of affirmations that you can do. And I just realized I didn't speak about the affirmation. So affirmation meditation is another meditation. I don't know if this is a meditation or if I'm making this up, but I feel like it definitely is. So affirmations obviously are when you can either write down sentences, or you can say them to yourself in your head, or you can just say them out loud. For example, an affirmation would be, I am getting better every day in every way. That's a really powerful one. I actually have a whole book where I just write them all down. I love to write my affirmations down. And then if I feel like my wrist is a little bit sore, or like I'm tired, I'll just read through them in my head over and over again. And I think they are so powerful for really helping us to have, basically manifest the way that we want to be. And it's really good for self-esteem. It's really good for confidence and just feeling a bit like, just feeling better about yourself. So I definitely recommend affirmations. I think that the only thing with affirmations is if you really haven't got like a lot of self-love, and then you are saying to yourself, oh, I love myself, like sometimes that doesn't really work because you're just lying to yourself. But what you can do is work your way up to that and teach yourself to have like a little bit of compassion for yourself instead. So if you're aware that you're not really you haven't really got the highest self-esteem at the moment, you could say that affirmation, like, I have deep compassion for myself, like during this time. And just like being there for yourself can be a really good way to work yourself up to really like being able to say like, I truly do love myself, which can be very difficult at times. Yeah, so I'm going to put all the links in the description for the books that I recommended and the video by Andrew Huberman. I can't think of any other sources at the moment, but I'll be talking about meditation a lot. So if I do think of some, I'll let you guys know. If you did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate it if you would tap on the like button and the subscribe button, because I really am trying to set the goal, to get my channel to a place where I'm actually got a few subscribers. If you need help with your creative direction for your companies, your business ventures, do send me an email, send me a message, let me know, and I can help you with your branding, your graphic design, anything that you need. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys. I haven't actually decided what the next video is going to be about, but I will figure that out. Have a good day. Thank you.